What's up, guys? Welcome to MDTV Canes all day. If you're rocking with the UD, you know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button so you never miss out on a video. Today, Mario Cristobal was on the Joe Rose Show. And when he's on the Joe Rose Show, I like to, one, let you guys hear the interview, and two, react to the video. Now, if you don't want to hear my opinions on what Mario Cristobal says in this interview, no big deal. Just click the link in the description, and it'll take you over to the Joe Rose Show. Shout out to them. All credit goes to them. But let's take a listen to this interview that was done Monday, September 16th. Let's go.
Miami 62-0, and went through a lot to get there. A long delay, lightning delay, 2.5 hours. We're joined this morning by the head coach, Mario Cristobal. Coach, first of all, congratulations. And, boy, from start to finish, the young guys got to play, and it just continued.
Good morning, Joe. Appreciate you having me on here. But, overall, just handled the delay well and upheld a standard when the twos and threes went in there where, preserved the shutout and kept the offense going, moved the sticks, got some points. So, overall, a real solid day, and on to the next one.
This is a game, Ball State, that it really didn't worry me when you looked at both teams. You looked at Ball State even missing some more players. But I got to say, before the game, when the delay happens, that's when you start to wonder, is this team going to come out on firing on all cylinders? Is this team going to come out and take care of business? Or will the delay get in their minds, mess with them, they play with their food, and we have a close game against Ball State? And seemed like they handled the delay very well.
On to the next one.
Hey, Coach, real quickly, 2.5 hour delay. What's that like going through that? You think you're going back out? No, another one. And for your guys, I give those guys a lot of credit, man, to stay focused and still excited about getting out there and playing the way they did.
Well, the message to our team was, they're going through the same delay, so who's going to handle it better, right?
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, what we did find out was this. Number one, guys get hungry pretty quick, so there's plenty of snacks. Number two is that all the lengthy pregame warm-ups, brother, it was just like going back to high school. Go out there, run up and down the field a couple times for 5-7 minutes, and roll the ball out there and play ball, and that was great. Our guys enjoyed that. So, again, very solid performance.
I did see where they said Mario took the mic, during the delay or after the delay, and he shouted out the crowd. That's why I like that, man, Mario. I honestly believe it's small things like that it shows he really cares about this university and he cares about the fans. And look, I know stuff like that doesn't matter if you're losing, but when you're winning, stuff like that, hey, we love it. And secondly, I'm glad that the delay did happen because at least it happened against an inferior team, to whereas, like Mario said, now we know them dudes, they be hungry in the locker room during the delays. This was basically like, okay, now when we play another big team at home and we possibly get a delay, we're going to be ready. We know exactly what to do, and we're going to probably have a better plan if they already didn't have a plan to handle delays.
Hey, Coach, before we get into everything, I'm just curious because you guys like the NFL, college, the same thing, the pro football focus, and the grades come out right away, and our writers, everybody likes to use them when they're talking about how guys.
I hate PFF grades. I am about the film. You watch the film, you look at the film, you dissect the film. I'm not a big PFF guy.
How guys play and stuff. I'm just curious. Do you pay attention to that? And do you guys use it for your own to get ready for games?
If it doesn't happen inside this building, we really don't use it.
Okay.
I think there's some really neat stuff as it relates to some aspects. And I think every now and then there's overlap. There's some really good stuff, and there's some other stuff that may be on the other side of the spectrum. So tremendous respect for it. There are some analytical things that we do use as it relates to, again, opponent scouting and that kind of stuff. In terms of grading players, we grade our own players. We have our own grading system, always have, always will.
Yeah, no, I got you. And speaking of that, I got to ask you about the left side of your offensive line. Jalen Rivers still out, so Markel Bell got to. God, that's a big man. Oh my God, 6'9". I'm not sure, 340, 330, 350. How's he doing? Second game at left tackle. How's he playing?
Yeah, he's playing better and better. Albeit the one he had a hand to the face, even though he had a hand jammed up in his face. I guess quid pro quo didn't work on that one. They flagged him on the long touchdown. But aside from that, man, he just balance, power, length, effort. He just keeps getting better and better. He's got a super future, man. He's going to play for a long time.
Yeah.
So one thing that isn't talked about enough is Jalen Rivers coming back. Because with Jalen Rivers coming back, we have him to bolster our offensive line. We have another leader in the locker room, but we can bring a guy like Bell along. Is Bell perfect? No, but we see him getting better and better with every snap. Now, Rivers, they haven't played him these last couple games because of a nagging injury. Cool, let Bell get the playing time, and he can learn as he goes. Next season, Jalen Rivers, he goes to the NFL. Bell slides into that position, and he's going to be better for the time he's played. So keeping players like a Kiko, like a Jalen, was big for this team. And shout out to Bell, because I think Bell did play well. A lot of people's going to look at that play where the Isaiah Horton touchdown got called back. But like Mario said, he didn't think it should have been a flag. I didn't either. Feel bad for Isaiah Horton as well.
Play for a long time.
Yeah, and I got to ask you about Matthew McCoy. I talk about all the offensive linemen. We never talk about him at left guard. How is he playing?
Matt McCoy is playing great football, and that guy has probably the best thing that he's done is, besides just completely committing himself to strength and conditioning, that guy has just become a tough dude, man. He just fights through stuff. He keeps going. He won't be denied, and we expect him to be one of the better players on the football team.
Yeah, and not just because the offensive line. You've had such a good offensive line. I know ANEZ Cooper got banged up a little bit, but you expect him back pretty soon?
We do. We expect Coop back. We expect Jalen Rivers back.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you about those guys and stuff. We just go on and on.
So he said we expect them back soon. He didn't say we expect them back this week. He said we expect them back soon. There's a video on social media of ANEZ limping off the field. I believe it was after the game. And then Jalen Rivers, there hasn't really been an update on him. I assume Jalen Rivers will play, but ANEZ, he said we'll have him back soon.
You just go on and on about different guys, but Coach, it hasn't been like this around here. Whether it's your receivers blocking, yards after catch, that's been the best. I mean, those guys are catching it, and everybody's blocking, and the rest of them are thinking about scoring. You just got to be real happy with the effort you're getting from your running back position. They used to be long plays. Now they're turning in, it looks like, more into touchdowns off some of the effort at your skilled positions.
Yeah, we're getting better. We're getting better. We're executing at a higher level. And we left a lot on the table out there, last week. But there was improvement and progress. And, you go right to the film. Like, here's what we're doing well. Here's what we got to do better. And this is a plan to do so. So it's a very hungry and driven group. They just want to keep playing, man. They just want to keep playing, and we're blessed to have them, so we're going to push them to the max.
Shout out to our wide receivers. Not because they've been catching, because of how they've been blocking. If you look on the touchdown to Chris Johnson, you got Jacoby George, you got Xavier Restrepo blocking. If you look at against Florida, and even last week, Sam Brown was blocking on the Mark Fletcher touchdown. Against the Florida game, I remember Elijah Royal. You got Xavier Restrepo blocking. And then there's a play that I put out on my Twitter. If you don't follow me, go ahead and follow me over there. But basically, JoJo Trader is blocking a guy until the whistle and ends up throwing him out of the club. And when I mean throwing him, I mean he over there. The dude's feet went up in the air. There seems to have been a lot more attention to wide receivers blocking or more eager to block. I don't know what it is, but it looks different. Shout out to the wide receivers.
Push them to the max.
Everybody in the country, you can't watch a college football show on Saturday morning without everybody talking about Cam Ward. And I'm always wondering, how's he going to handle everything? And he just seems like nothing affects the guy. He just kind of stays the same no matter what the game is. Have you noticed anything from him, or did he just kind of expect this and kind of like, yeah, I'm good. I'm not worried about that. What's been your take on Cam Ward after a couple of games?
He just gets mad. He just wants to get better. He just wants to do better. He wants to win in a better way. He wants to execute better. He wants to impact teammates better. The guy is, besides being I mentioned it before, an alpha lead human being, he's driven, man. That guy, I mean, the great ones, Joe, they're restless, right? They never really kind of settle down, relax. They're just restless. And that's what he is, man. He's just driven to excel at the highest level.
Emory Williams came in, and man, he didn't miss a beat. It was so good, first of all, after his injury a couple, was it last year or the year before? God, it was just so bad to see him play like he did. That's got to make you feel good. That guy worked his ass off to get back and be able to play like that.
Yeah, we know what we have in Emory, man. The guy's a complete stud. Really should have been 12 for 12, went 11 for 12.
One drop.
He just, the guy is, he's a lot like Cam in the sense that his commitment to excellence, to trying to be the absolute best he could be, is off the charts. So it was great to get him in there and play real football. I mean, it was, nowadays, you really have to use certain games if they get to a certain point. And I say this respectfully because I have a ton of respect for Ball State. Their coach and their players are good, but the game was in a position where we can get our other guys out there and do a lot of work and run our systems and get better. And Emory did that to a T.
Not only Emory, shout out to Emory. First of all, I want to go back a little bit when they talked about Cam Ward. And aren't we glad to have Cam Ward? I know I am. And look, I'm not afraid to say I was wrong. I remember when Mario was going after Cam Ward and weeks were going by. I was like, look, let's just go find another quarterback. I'm glad Mario didn't listen to me. He kept going after Cam. He kept sticking with Cam, and he got Cam Ward. If y'all remember, that was a long saga. And I was like, maybe we should look at other quarterbacks. I'm glad we didn't, because Cam looks to be the real deal, man. And I really like what Mario said. Cam is mad. He wants to get better. He wants to be perfect. Then you look at Emory. Emory, I already liked Emory, but I assume him being around Cam is going to help Emory even more. And not only did Emory get a lot of playing time, but look at the guys that Emory was throwing to. Ray, JoJo Trader, Elijah Lofton. I got to say, and this is something else, this is why I love watching these interviews. When over the summer, when they were talking about Elijah Lofton, when they were talking about Jordan Lyle, I was like, yeah, they're good, but are they even going to play, Yeah. And they've actually played a lot, and they've actually been the real deal. Shout out to the beat reporters who was reporting, watch out for Lofton, watch out for Lyle, because we've seen them play in these games, and they've played well, even in the Florida game.
To a T.
Let me ask you about the backup, because Poffenbarger played the game before, or he got playing time. How do you treat that going forward? Do you have a game plan on, because you've done such a good job of getting everybody playing time?
Yes, absolutely. I explained to you off air because I like to keep things close to the vest, but Emory is ready to go. God forbid there should be a situation.
Okay, so
I'm gonna rewind that. What did he say?
Game plan on, because you've done such a good job of getting everybody playing time.
Yes, absolutely. I explained to you off air because I like to keep things close to the vest, but Emory is ready to go. God forbid there should be a situation.
Okay.
So is he saying that Emory's quarterback number 2? He doesn't want to put a lot out there, but Emery's ready to go if something was to happen. So we know the plan is to redshirt Emery, but if something was to happen and it's Reese or Emery, I think it would be Emery is the guy. And I, for one, I am down with that. And here's the reason why. Emery has shown us that he can play in tough situations like he did in Clemson, or like he did against Clemson, and like he did at Florida State. He seems to still be getting better. We watched him play this last week. I like that. Reese, I like Reese, but I got to see more. That's just the bottom line. I felt like in this game, we opened up the offense more with the backups. In the last game, it was just a lot of handoffs and stuff when Reese got in the game. What do you guys think about our quarterback 2 position?
Okay, so moving on here, boy, I'll tell you what, the guys defensively, it's hard to pick 1 or 2 guys out when you have a game like that and so many guys, but let's just talk about Barrow for a second at defensive tackle position. That dude just looks like he's getting better and better and better. What have you seen from him so far?
Exactly what you just mentioned. Very explosive and disruptive. And if you saw, he was moved around a bunch in this game with a couple different pressure packages, a couple of exotic looks, but a lot of power and a lot of experience. And I think the combination that has been brought to the table with a lot of the transfers, they embody that. Guys that have played a lot of football, that have been highly successful, but they have the right mentality. So I think Simeon's just getting started. His dad was here, which I think put a little extra sauce on the whole thing for him. And so we got to make sure his dad goes to every game.
Hey, his dad was in the stands, so he had to show out. That's what, Mario said, we're going to get you at every game, Simeon. Yeah, Simeon's done great. Elijah's done great. Barron has done great. But most of all, we got to give a shout out to Coach G for putting these guys in situation where it's literally like they're all eating. And in the last game, Mesidor had a pressure. He was getting around to the quarterback. And then when Bain gets back, hoo-wee.
That goes to every game.
Hey, so I got to ask you about a true freshman, this Frederic kid from St. Thomas. We talked about that recruiting class, and we go through it. And the media, we get caught up in the stars and the 5s and the 4s and the 4.5s and all that. Frederic kind of came in, not for you now, not for you, Coach, obviously, but a lot of people went, oh, that's the other guy at St. Thomas they got. Man, has he been really good. Did he surprise you a little bit? Everybody kind of said he was kind of special from day one. What did you see from him?
Well, everything you're seeing right now. I mean, it's it's not about recruiting. It's more about identifying and evaluating and assessing and then going from there. And he was one that really popped, and he's one of those guys that if you don't recruit and don't do your homework, you'll just forget about him. He'll go to some other school and end up in the NFL, and what he has done is...
Listen to what he said. How many times have there been homegrown talent that because they don't have the stars bound, we don't look at them, they go somewhere else, they play us, they beat us, next thing you know, they're in the NFL. Tutu Atwell?
He's done is, number one, he's raised the right way. Just another one, elite human being, ridiculously hard worker. Him and his dad, they train like complete animals. And his dad looks like he could play for us now. And OJ, he just is relentless about his craft, and he's unfazed. You saw him. We threw him out there when we were up in Gainesville from play one, and the guy never flinched. So, and he plays with an edge. He went to an unbelievable program where they work hard, they get guys college ready, and that's what he is, man. We're super blessed to have him.
I always wonder, I've never really asked you about this, but the guys that go to the top programs, the Chaminades, the Centrals, the St. Thomas, I hate doing this because somebody's going to be mad I leave them out, but some of the national programs, you see those guys a little bit, they play against top competition. A lot of them play a lot of national games, and they're used to being on TV and nothing's too big for them as young teenage kids. Do you notice anything different from guys that play a little tougher schedule and are used to being out there?
Well, one thing for sure, like you said, somebody's going to be mad if you don't mention every school. So make sure, please, to mention everybody. But on top of that is these guys have played a lot of football since they've been knee high. And when I say play football, like they spend every minute doing so. And like kind of like what you mentioned earlier about Cam Ward, like the guy loves football. If it has nothing to do with winning and helping us win and get better, like he wants nothing to do with it. These guys are like that. We're getting more and more guys like that. And that was always kind of the DNA of Miami. So when you see, and when you go watch these guys at these programs, and then they've got great coaching at those particular high schools, you know that the hit rate's going to be high because they're going to come in hungry, driven, and they're going to come in with a tremendous foundation and be able to contribute early. So, yeah, it's, you recruit objectively, but at the same time, there are some programs that have really high hit rates.
Coach, you're getting ready to play the South Florida Bulls. I jumped the gun a little bit and brought this up last week. It's going to be either a sellout or real close to a sellout up there at Tampa Bay, where the Bucks play, and they play their home games up there, South Florida Bulls. They're going for about 268 yards on the ground. They got a real athletic running quarterback. They gave Bama a scare for 3.5 quarters before Bama opened it up. I know you've seen all this stuff. What's your thoughts on what you've seen? Everybody's saying, well, Miami's going to step up in competition this week.
I think that they're the best team that we've played. They're fast. They're athletic.
Did y'all hear what he said? He said, that's the best team we didn't play. Them niggas up in Gainesville straight ass. That's what my coach said. Ooh, rewind. I just had to get that in there. He said they the best team we've played. That little SEC team.
For 3.5 quarters before Bama opened it up. I know you've seen all this stuff. What's your thoughts on what you've seen? Everybody's saying, well, Miami's going to step up in competition this week.
I think that they're the best team that we've played. They're fast. They're athletic. They're physical. They play with an edge. They've got, I think 19 returning starters, and they've had their way with people. So we're looking forward to an awesome opportunity right up the road. I'm sure we'll have a lot of fans there as well. The environment's going to be awesome. So we worked really hard, and we're fired up and ready for this opportunity.
I get that. It's a great stadium. It's one of my favorite stadiums. It really is. It's a nice, comfortable. It's great turf up there for the players and everything. Big test. Do you go in? The guys on that D line, obviously, we'll have a little bit with Jason and those guys saying, "Hey, fellas, we need to stop this run and make them throw the ball." Basically, if they're able to run like they have against everybody, it could be an interesting day. Do you have to get that message out, or those guys pretty much know it already?
Well, you got to play great team football because they go warp speed. They go really, really, really fast, and obviously they have a great run game, but they do stretch the field horizontally and vertically. And with that tempo they've caused a lot of confusion, and they're physical and they're in good shape, and they run right by people, and they hit them with big plays in a lot of different ways. So your discipline, your conditioning, your attention to detail, your communication all have to be at a really high level.
Mario, you guys are 8th in the country right now, and a lot of nice things being said. What do you like about this team so far the most from what you've seen through the first couple of games?
I like the fact that we have chosen not to listen to any rankings or any talking heads or none of that stuff. I love the fact that these guys love to play football, and they just stay mad. They're pissed in the right kind of way. And again, I mentioned it before, that positive anger, man, that energy burns the team. This team is hungry for success. We know we got to get better. We can push them. And you've been at practice. We push them. These guys, they're all about it, and we just focus on getting better. We got to get better. We need to get better, so that's our focus.
Mario's been saying it a lot. Stay mad, controlled anger. I think that's been something he said a lot this year that he hadn't said in the past. I thought he was going to go with, when you work, that it takes care of you. He said he don't be listening to no talking heads. I know he be watching NMD TV. I know he be watching us.
That's our focus. Mario, you guys get after it for anybody who hasn't been after that. They are competitive, and I got to tell you, they've been fun to watch. And they have not jumped on that roller coaster of highs and lows emotionally and mentally, man. You got those guys playing with a chip on their shoulder. Mario, thank you. I really appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on, and good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it. Go Canes.
All right, Mario Cristobal.
And Mario's right. I mean, honestly, right now, week 3, all them rankings and stuff like that, it don't matter. It don't matter. We got a long season ahead, and if we continue to look at the rankings and keep listening to what people are saying, then, you may drop a game and people are going to say, oh, it's the same old Miami. I'm letting y'all know right now, they are waiting for Miami to lose, and they can say it's the same old Miami. It's the same old Mario Cristobal. So I really do believe Mario is letting these boys know, y'all better not don't read the press clippings. Don't read them. Because we're 3-0 right now. Last year we were 3-0. And the season didn't go how we wanted it to go. So one game at a time, 1 week at a time. Don't listen to the polls. Guys, I will link this full interview in the pinned comments, in the description, so you can go check it out if you don't want to hear me yap through it. I appreciate those who do want to hear me yap through it. Much love. More content coming soon. Peace.